I teased her with a proposal. The alien queen took it as a vow. The frontier station of Kara Reach was a place for wanderers, mercenaries, smugglers, drifters. Yarrick Venn fit right in. He was a pilot with more debts than credits and more scars than medals. Most nights, he nursed cheap drinks in dingy cantinas, trading stories with whoever would listen. That was the night she walked in. She was tall, armored in obsidian plates that shimmered under the neon glow. Her hair, or what passed for it, flowed like strands of molten silver. Her eyes were piercing, their strange violet hue marking her as not just alien, but royalty. Every being in the cantina fell silent as she entered, flanked by guards. Yarrick, already 2 drinks deep, did what no one else dared. He smirked. Careful, he called across the room. Someone that intimidating should come with a warning label. The queen's eyes flicked to him. The guard stiffened. Yarrick raised his glass in mock salute. Relax. I'm harmless. Though, he let the smirk widen. You'd make a cute wife. The room froze. Her lips curved, not in offense, but in something far more dangerous. A smile. She dismissed her guards with a gesture and walked straight to his table. Without a word, she sat, leaned close, and locked her gaze to his. You joke, she murmured, her voice like velvet and steel. But on my world, such words are binding. Then she reached behind her, sealed the cantina door, and locked it. Yarrick's grin faltered. Wait, you're serious? Part 1. The Vow. Her name was Serenia Calith, sovereign of the Obsidian Throne, ruler of an empire that stretched across 6 sectors. She had come to Kara Reach to negotiate with smugglers, gather intel, and crush whispers of rebellion. Instead, she had found a human who dared speak to her as an equal. Yarrick tried to laugh it off, insisting it was a joke. But Serenia didn't understand jokes, not the way humans did. On her world, words of proposal were sacred, oaths of blood and bond. To break them was unthinkable. You have spoken, she said calmly. I accept. Before Yarrick could argue, her guards swept him away. By the next day, his name was etched into palace records as consort to the queen. Part 2. The Palace. The Obsidian Throne was not a place for humans. Black spires pierced the sky, casting shadows over oceans of lava. The palace itself was alive, built of shifting crystal that hummed with energy. Yarrick was given quarters fit for nobility. Servants bowed. Guards saluted. And Serenia visited him daily, not as a conqueror, but as a partner, bringing him food, asking about Earth, listening with genuine curiosity. At first, Yarrick thought he was a prisoner in silk chains. But slowly, he realized Serenia was lonely. Surrounded by sycophants and rivals, she had never met someone who dared tease her, laugh with her, or treat her as more than a throne. And so, against his better judgment, Yarrick played along. He told her stories of Earth, of oceans and skies, of music and dancing, of freedom without crowns. She listened, eyes alight, as if he spoke of miracles. And in return, she shared her burdens. Endless wars, assassins in the shadows, counselors plotting against her. You may have spoken in jest, she said one night, her voice softer than he'd ever heard. But to me, you are the first to see Serenia, not only the queen. And for the first time, Yarrick wondered if maybe, just maybe, he hadn't made a mistake after all. Part 3. The Threat. But not all in the Empire welcomed a human consort. The warlords muttered. The High Council hissed. An alien queen taking a human husband was scandal enough, but worse, Serenia seemed to trust him. She asked his counsel in private, valued his unfiltered honesty, laughed at his jests. So the council plotted. And when an assassin's blade narrowly missed Serenia in her own throne room, Yerrick realized the truth. They would kill him to weaken her. That night, he begged her to release him. "Send me home. I'm just a washed-up pilot, Serenia. You don't need me." She stared at him, hurt flashing across her face. "Do you think this is only need? You bound yourself with your words." She hesitated, then whispered, "I would see the galaxy burn before I let them take you." Part 4. The Siege. The coup came swiftly. A faction of warlords brought fleets to the capital, their ships blotting out the stars. They demanded Serenia's abdication, sneering at the human corruption of their queen. Yerrick stood beside her in the war chamber as alarms blared. Her generals begged her to retreat, to hide. But Serenia only looked at him. "What would you do?" she asked. He almost laughed. "Me? I'm just a pilot." But her gaze didn't waver. And deep inside, something stirred, the old instincts of a soldier, a leader, a man who once fought for something greater. "Then we fight smart," Yerrick said. "Not like warlords. Like humans." Part 5. The Battle. Yerrick took the fleet's helm. He rewired Serenia's ships, reprogrammed their tactics, turned rigid formations into unpredictable swarms. He taught them hit-and-run strikes, feints, sudden retreats that turned into ambushes. The warlords expected brute force. What they got was chaos. When Serenia's forces struck, they struck like lightning. Whole enemy squadrons broke apart under maneuvers they couldn't anticipate. And at the heart of it, Serenia herself led the charge, her voice steady, her will unshakable. The battle raged for 3 days. When the last warlord's flagship burned in orbit, the empire bowed once more to its queen. And the people whispered not just of Serenia's might, but of the human consort who had outwitted fleets. Part 6. The Bond. That night, in the silence after victory, Serenia found Yerrick in the palace gardens. He was exhausted, battered, still doubting whether he belonged here. "You saved more than my throne," she said quietly. "You saved me." Yerrick shook his head. "I didn't do it for a throne. I did it for the woman who keeps locking doors when I try to leave." She laughed, a sound rare, precious. Then, with no guards, no crown, no armor, she took his hand. "Then stay," she whispered. "Not as consort, not as prisoner, as my choice." And Yerrick, for once, had no joke left. Only an answer. Yes. Epilogue. The galaxy would never understand. Some called it scandal, others legend. The alien queen and the human consort, bound by a jest that became a vow. But as Yerrick stood beside Serenia on the obsidian throne, watching the stars burn bright beyond the palace windows, he realized the truth. He had spoken in jest. She had taken it as a vow. And somehow, impossibly, it had become love.